So it finished at the Emirates. Arsenal won, Liverpool won, and that means this weekend's game against Southampton represents a great chance for Man City to open up the gap at the top of the table. We're going to be previewing that game and talking about what else has been going on in the world of Man City this week, because it has been a jam-packed week. We've got Diaz, the game against Fulham, De Bruyne's injury, Sterling's contract. There is tons to fit in. Let's get stuck into it. Yes guys, welcome to the video. As always, if you do enjoy this, make sure to leave a big thumbs up on it. It's always massively appreciated. Leave your thoughts on everything that we're going to be talking about in that comment section down below. And don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel. I will be at the game against Southampton this weekend. I think this is going to go out late on Saturday, so you'll probably see that then. I will be at the game on Sunday, and I will be doing a match day vlog, of course, so you can look forward to seeing that as well. But yeah, let's get stuck into the main focus of the video. So before we get into previewing the game, I think we're going to talk about the bits of news that have been coming out of Man City this week, because like I say, there has been a lot going on, starting off with the game against Fulham in the middle of the week. I'm not going to properly review the game or anything like that. I decided not to put a review out for that one purely because I hadn't actually seen the game myself, so I didn't feel like I was in a position to do that. But we came away with the win, 2-0. Brahim Diaz scoring his first goal for Man City. He actually got a brace on the night, showing again why he's such a phenomenal talent. Foden, by all accounts, played really well as well. But the big story to come out of the game, really, was the injury to Kevin De Bruyne. It's a knee ligament injury, and that means he's going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks, which is absolutely heartbreaking considering the guy's only just come back and, you know, he looked like he'd hit the ground running. The big positive, I suppose, if you want to put a positive on this and look at the bright side, is that we have got a lot of depth in that position. I do think that you're going to see the two Silvers next to each other in the middle of the park for the game against Southampton. Bernardo and David, and they have shown when they've played together that they are more than capable of filling the void. So although undoubtedly we're going to miss De Bruyne, especially with the derby coming up next week, I do think, you know, if that injury happens to any other team in the Premier League, it's a huge blow. And although it's a big blow for us, we have got the players to try and fill that void. Although the void, like I say, is a pretty impossible one to fill on an individual basis, because De Bruyne is just such a phenomenal player and such a key player in the way that we go about our football. Also, there's fireworks going on outside. It's Saturday, you know, it's 3rd of November. Apologies if you can hear any of that, but bonfire night coming up. What can you do? So aside from the Fulham game, the big performances from Diaz and Foden and the injury to De Bruyne, there was also the news that Raheem Sterling has supposedly agreed, he's had a verbal agreement, I should say, to extend his contract at City, which is absolutely incredible news. You know, I've said it time and time again, Sterling is a pivotal, vital player for our team, contributes regularly, and he deserves to be in a contract among the top owners of the club, because when you look at the way he contributes with goals, assists, and his general level of performance, he is a key player for us, and that's exactly what this new contract looks like. It looks like it's going to represent. He's going to be on £300,000 a week, which, you know, it's crazy. Modern football, the way it is pretty outrageous, but that puts him in amongst the top owners of our club, and he deserves to be there. It's really great news, the fact that he's going to be signing. Hopefully this will be true. He will be signing. It will be confirmed pretty soon. But great news, because that was something that had been stalled on a little bit. And he was, you know, probably our biggest player that's running out of contract. So if we can get that nailed down, that'll be fantastic. And I don't think you'll find many City players complaining about that, because, like I say, Raheem Sterling for us, I mean, we're playing Southampton tomorrow. He scored that phenomenal winner against Southampton last season, where he went on that run of scoring late goals to win vital points. And you know, like I say, ever since then, he's been a pivotal part of our team, and love the guy. Let's hope he gets that contract signed. And speaking of contracts, Brahim Diaz, who scored the brace, by the way, against Fulham, still not signed a contract, and he's one of them. We don't want another Sancho situation. I really do think we need to do everything in our power to get him signed down, because he's a phenomenal player. And don't be surprised if he was to go, if he was to perform moves like Sancho is right now, because he's undoubtedly a talent, phenomenal on the ball. It's just difficult for him to get in a team when you look at the players that he's got to get ahead of. So maybe a loan move could be a good way to go, but I really don't want to see him going on a permanent basis, because he's such a phenomenal talent, Brahim Diaz. We've also had the news come out about the financial fair play. That was a whole thing that got leaked, where apparently there's some guy, I can't remember what his name is now, that helped City and PSG dodge what's the word I'm after, dodged the punishments when that all came around a couple of years ago, but not much more has come out since then. I don't really know what to comment on that. You know, I think everybody knows in football it's a bit shady. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors to make stuff happen, and that's not just at City, that's at all clubs, you know. anything they can do to find these loopholes to get through things like financial fair play and whatnot. But I don't really want to say too much about it because I don't know enough about it right now to comment. But that was another thing that broke this week. And also, another thing that broke, what was it? It's completely skipped my mind already. I'm sure there was something else I was going to talk about in the news section at the start of this video, but it's completely slipping my mind right now, so forgive me. Can't have been that important. Let's get on to previewing the Southampton game and what I'm expecting to see. Guardiola's, of course, come out and he said how much he rates a lot of the Southampton players, actually. They have got some players in there that can cause danger. He's mentioned how physical they are, how much talent they've got on an individual basis, and that is something that's definitely true. I mean, even on, you know, he's not been them a standout player, but you look at someone like El Yunusi, a very talented player that could do well if he gets his head down in the Premier League. You've got Redmond, who we all know Guardiola went on the pitch and spoke to, almost lectured last season about the talent that he's got and how he feels like he's almost wasting that. They've got Danny Ings, who's been in fine form this season, and he's given half a chance to sniff out. He could cause us issues, but putting all that to one side, this is a game that we should be winning, particularly with the news that they will have all seen with the Liverpool result today. I'm sure they want to get all 3 points and get that gap, a bit of an opening at the top of the table. I've already touched upon a little bit how I think we're going to line up. I've mentioned I think the two Silvers are going to be in the middle of the park. Fernandinho is undoubtedly going to be anchoring behind those two, and he's going to be in front of a back four that I'm imagining is going to be something like Edison in goal. Goes without saying, as always. I think Walker's going to be at right back and Mendy at left back, despite the fact that neither of them had a great game. In fact, both of them are very poor against Tottenham, you know. I think Walker was just trying too hard against his former team. Mendy just had an off day, so I think he'll go with those two again, and fingers crossed they can have a solid game. They'll be doing a lot more attacking than defending, of course, you'd imagine, in this one, which suits them both very nicely. And then I don't think you can look past the Laporte-Stones partnership right now. You know, I've been mentioning it, banging on about it all year long, all season long already, and it really is coming to fruition. So hopefully they'll be starting again, and I can't see anything other than them starting again. Front three-wise is always where it gets a bit tasty. I think you're going to see Aguero starting with Sane on one side, and I think you're probably going to see Sterling. Always very interesting to see if Mahrez is going to be in there. You know, it's a real fight for places right now in that front three, you know, with Sane, Mahrez, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, if he wasn't playing in the middle of the park, I'm sure would be in contention as well. So a lot of places to grab there, and you know, you can't get everyone in on any given day. And Jesus, by the way, had a phenomenal game in terms of his play in general against Fulham. So he should definitely be in with a shout, but I don't think he'll start ahead of Aguero. But you know, some of the touches he showed in that game were mesmeric. So although he's not scoring many right now, Jesus, it's fantastic to see that his general level of performance isn't dipping. Although, like I say, I don't think he's going to start against Southampton. I think the pattern of the game is going to be a pretty familiar one at the Etihad. I expect us to dominate the game in terms of possession, in terms of chances, and I do expect us to win the game. I think where Southampton could have a bit of an edge is in that physicality that Guardiola mentioned. You know, they've got some big, strong players in their squad that we do need to be wary of, as well as the technical players as well. So that is something to be careful of. However, you know, when you look at the last game we played in the Premier League against Tottenham, their midfield was so much bigger, so much stronger than ours on paper, and we just seem to find a way to get through. So hopefully that'll be the case again. Do need to watch out for set pieces, as always. I do feel that's an area where we could potentially be caught out on the counter-attack as well. That's the kind of game it's going to be. I think, you know, classic game at the Etihad in the Premier League. Southampton will be holding on, hoping to get any sniff of any, you know, half chances, perhaps grab a goal, something to hold on to. We need to make sure that they don't do that. I mean, right now, we've played 10 games in the Premier League. Is it conceded 3 goals? We're looking in an incredibly strong position, and we need to make that show again in this game. Prediction-wise, I am actually going to go for a 4-0 City win. I never predict us to keep a clean sheet, just because I feel like it's going to bite me on my own backside. But the way we're playing right now, you know, if we can keep that up, I can't see Southampton getting too many chances, and I hope we can keep the clean sheet. And I'm actually going to back Aguero to grab a brace, or potentially, I'm tempted to say a hat-trick in this game, because I think he's playing really well of late, and he's not got as many goals in the last couple of games as he had been at the start of the season, you know, the first few games, but I think he's going to come back in this one and get a brace at least. So Aguero to get a couple, and City 4-0 win. I always say it, I'm going to beat the game. Hopefully that doesn't come back and bite me on the backside. I'd love to hear your predictions in the comments section down below. Any thoughts on the game and anything I've covered as well, leave it all down there, and I will be looking forward to reading the comments and interacting with you guys, something I really enjoyed doing. But yeah, that is going to end off the video, guys. Like I say, if you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you all in the next video, which will be the matchday vlog. That video will be followed by the January transfer window in the City career mode, which I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to, so keep an eye out for that. I'll speak to you all there, guys. Nidge out.